So let's talk about something interesting that I saw. I saw an article recently about how one should implement economy or finances as a mandatory part, as a mandatory subject in school. And I couldn't agree more. Listen, I rarely comment about political stuff. I rarely comment about contemporary societal stuff, but this is very, very important. And it's so important that I actually found it to be worthy of inclusion in my video series. Because, especially when it comes to persuasion. Because the the article itself suggested that people who don't learn about finances, who don't learn about appreciation, who don't learn about finances, who don't learn about economy, who don't learn about how how to generate money, will fall outside of the financial literacy spectrum, and also will become literally, but proverbially, what is known as financial illiterates. These are the same kind of people who take up large credit card loans because they want to gamble and they want to go to Vegas and they want to order a fancy watch which they can't afford. They don't have a business going. They don't even know how to generate revenue. They don't know what appreciating interest rates are. They don't know anything. They don't understand how money works, and they don't understand either how investments work. Now, I'm not trying to pretend like I'm some sort of a guru or some sort of a know-it-all, but I do believe that I know a little bit about how finances and investments work, because I've been doing it for quite some time, and also various other ways to make money. Now, I'm not going to go into details about my personal situation, of course, because that's private and it's personal. And quite frankly, nothing ever good comes of sharing anything personal online. But what I will say is this. If you teach children at school how to analyze poems, that's fine if you want to teach and educate people on how to become poets and write poems and using the language and manage to write a colorful language seasoned with fancy words and captivating stories. That's fine. And it has its place, really. I'm not trying to be facetious here. I really do believe that it has its place. But something else that does also have its place in school is financial education, economy, finances. What it does, how finances work, why credit card loans usually, not always, but usually are a bad idea, especially when you can't afford to buy it on your own. If you want a new fancy watch, for instance, and you can't even afford to pay your bills, or you don't have enough cash to buy the fancy watch, then do you think it's going to help to take up a credit card loan to buy that watch? No, it doesn't. It's going to make your situation worse. It's not going to make your situation work. It's going to make your situation worse. However, another thing, if you invest, let's say, a monthly amount, $1,000 every single month, and you invest it in a low-cost index fund, and you start early at age 8, for instance, and then every single month, your parents in the beginning invested $1,000, and then eventually when you turn 18, you start continuing investing $1,000. This is just an example, by the way, that over time, the value of that fund is going to appreciate massively. Now, I didn't understand that until I was 30 years old, or actually, I might have even have been 32, 33, because nobody taught me that at school. And I happened to find out that simply by coincidence, simply by browsing and educating myself online. And so my point is, if I'd already known that, oh, and by the way, I wouldn't have had to start with $1,000. I could have started with $100. Not only that, $25 every single month. And it would still have made a significant amount of money. The point here is simple. Teach children and persuade them to learn. I gotta say that again. Teach children about finances and economics, and also combine that with persuasion and sales. And you've made them understand finances in a much better way. If you want to learn more about persuasion and sales, then get subscribed to my email list. The link to do so is in the episode description wherever you're watching or listening to this, and I'll see you there.